All right, let's continue working our way in toward the interior. Now, I did notice that I had overlooked a selection of pictures that I had collected. Amongst these, I had a picture of the coveted front area of the fender. Now, we can kind of see that there is an indention here where we can mount the pneumatic arm that will help us pick up the door, but a lot of it's black on black and a little harder to see. However, we do see a little wall up here to which the gasket is attached for sealing off the door. So we can make some adjustments to what we modeled a minute ago and make them a bit, the whole system here a bit more accurate. So let me grab all of these faces here that kind of make this wall that I created, and we'll delete those out. Let me grab vertices. I'll get this one lone vertex here and this lone vertex here. We'll delete those as well. And then I can just grab all of these verts and slide them forward a bit. Well, I'm sorry, inward in X. Now, the indented area, we can see is, here's a little swoop upward, and then it's about midway up along the fender. And it's more or less just a place where you could insert or attach the pneumatic arm to help pick up this very heavy door. So what we'll do is we'll start off with an extrusion. I'll scale it in just a little bit. We'll extrude again. And it looks to me, although, again, it is black on black, that it kind of slants inward from the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll switch over to edges. We'll grab this edge, and let me control-click on the x-axis. We'll just slide this up a little bit. And we can push these in just a little bit further. And you can see what that does. It's still a little bit rounded. So make sure that you take just a moment, and let's grab all of these edges, say across the bottom, and up the corners. Notice we're anchoring off to the corners like so. We'll grab the poly crease tool and sort of stretch those out a little bit. We can put our pneumatic arm in there later. Now, we also have this like sort of a wall extrusion that comes out of the side of this. So let's grab all of these edges down to about here, and we'll extrude these. Let's just go ahead and pull these back in world Z. Now I'm going to take this vertex here. Now let's kind of double check so you can see how everything kind of ends off right here where the this base plate begins. We're probably going to have to edit that base plate too, by the way. Let's switch over to vertices, and I'll grab this vertex. We'll pull it up a little bit. I think just for good measure, I'm going to also extrude this edge up as well. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll just pull that up. Press F9 to switch over to vertices. And I'm going to snap this over. Merge the two verts together. And there you go. So now we just need to kind of take a closer look over here. We see how that wall kind of grows up from here and heads up toward the blind spot. So we need to basically do the same thing. Let's go ahead and shade up, make things a little bit easier to see. And we can now grab this edge and start extruding it upward. Now currently we do not have an internal blind spot on our car. We're going to have to build that, and we'll be doing that just a little bit later. So there's that. Starting to look pretty nice. Sorry, edges. Do one more extrusion, and let's start kind of cleaning up our vertices a little bit. Pull this inward, and these as well. Can probably attach some vertices here. Let's extrude this edge. I'm going to pull this out, and we'll rotate this a little bit. I'm just really carefully going to start adjusting my vertices to get this right next to the blind spot for the car. This needs to come down. This needs to come down. Just take your time here. And let me go ahead and grab our pen to polygon tool. Check our smooth. Now there's the hole that we have right now. Not looking half bad. Grab that append tool again. We can probably append straight across there. Just clean up this area a little bit, just make the little transition there a bit more smooth. Now let's grab all of the edges that surround this hole. Actually, we could probably close some of this up a little bit. In fact, let's do that. Let's grab our append tool again, and I'll just kind of close across here. And what do we have left? It's like should be like this one little razor thin quad. Grab my split polygon tool and I'll put a split right here just so I can open this up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would end up with a 5-sided face if we do it this way. So let me kind of append over here, and then we'll just append right there, which forms a triangle, but it does kind of close that off, as well as giving us a vertex where we can change the shape of the hole just a little bit. Now let's grab all of the edges that surround this, and we'll extrude all of these forward. So now the whole thing's kind of opened up and ready to accept the little arm that connects to the door a little bit later on. Now this piece, I kind of realized a while ago, is a bit of an error. And that is because this little downward angle doesn't really exist. What I'm going to do is kill that out. And actually, before I do, let me go ahead and shift tilde, and we'll get both of these together, and I'll just build a new piece to create the transition here. But I'm going to save that because I want to create the little rubber gasket that flows all the way around the door before this piece comes in. Speaking of which, I need to build the wall that connects across the back here. Now, I've got a lot of interior pictures that I was able to find on my hard drive. Thought I'd lost them, actually. I was scared for a minute. But I was going to play it off all cool. I wasn't going to tell you guys about it. Let's build a little wall that comes forward here, very much like we had over on the opposite side. And we'll start off simply by grabbing all of the edges around here. Now, this little indentation, we may not necessarily want to just extrude forward. Let's try capping that off. Let me switch over here to my append to polygon tool, and we can append straight, well, missed the edge, backspace, straight up to here, and then straight up to here as well. Could also probably just go ahead and make an append like so. And we can do something very similar up here. Whoop. I want to grab this little tiny edge right there. Now I totally lost myself because the camera decided to fly away on me. Alright. So now we can grab this connected edge all the way down like so. I'll leave this last edge alone. And we can not bevel this, but extrude it. We'll switch over to world coordinates, and we'll just pull this forward. And you can see that creating the wall that we were looking for. Now, we do have some over-smoothing that we're going to have to address here in just a few minutes, but don't worry about that right now. We'll get there. Let's start adjusting a few vertices. And I'm going to start cleaning this up a little bit because of its slight jaggedness. Sort of smooth everything out. Okay, and grab this edge. We'll extrude this upward as well. I wasn't going to originally, but I kind of changed my mind. And then we'll just grab vertices, and I'll merge those together. So here's what we have so far. Let's take a look over here where we have this slight amount of over-smoothing. And what we can do, there's a lot of things we could do, but what we will do in this case, let me frame up on that edge so that my camera doesn't fly away again. Let's take these edges and let's bevel them. Immediately that kind of helps things, but it also causes a couple of problems that'll need to be cleaned up. First off, we can grab this vertex, snap over, actually, let's snap it down here, and merge those up, so that kind of helps that out. And same thing up here. All right. Now that gets really tight right there and then loosens up as we go to a single edge all the way down through here. So if we want to kind of keep that nice transition all the way down, it's not going to be too hard. What we can do is start off by grabbing these edges in through here. We can bevel these, which will look okay up to a point, but it'll cause some problems down here. Easy to fix, though. We can grab this vertex, and I think we could just snap that, not over there, but right here. And actually, let's make sure that I have both of these selected. We'll merge those to center, and that's helping out. Then we have this vertex here, which we can snap up and merge up. Couple of little nasties in here that we could clean up just by tweaking our topology a little bit. Get my split polygon tool, and let's turn this into a split that runs all the way up here to the wall. Clean that area up. That's a little bit pinched. I wonder if this would look any better if I were to just go ahead and split it across like so. It actually does look a little better. Things get a little nasty right here. Merge these two vertices. Clean that up just a little bit. Scale these vertices in. Let me take this edge. I'm going to delete it. And we'll change it into a split that runs all the way up like so. And that really helped clean that up. So, excellent work. Now, any sort of nasties down here we can address. Let me take this edge, and I'm going to delete it, and I'll replace it with an edge that connects right there. It helps that a little bit. Still have some over-smoothing taking place. Probably help if I were to bevel the edge where this wall kind of bleeds in. Yeah, we'll just go right to there. And that's already been beveled, which is why it looks so nice in the first place. So let's go ahead and just bevel this, and I'm sure, yeah. Now, things look okay down here, but we have some issues in here that we'll need to have a look at. Let's grab vertices, and I'm wondering which of these edges is necessary and which ones we can kind of do without. Let's see, if I snap this up here and merge, careful camera, and snap this down here and merge, and then snap this up here and merge, sharpen some of it up. Maybe a little too much in a couple of areas. There's some really weird normals taking place right there. I wonder if I just damaged something when I was merging. Did something get kind of over-merged? Let me undo for just a moment. Let me start off just to be safe. I'm going to take this face, because I'll be eliminating it through merges, and let me delete it out altogether. And then we'll grab this vertex and snap it up. And merge it. And then merge these two. Yeah, that's a lot better. I don't know what was poked in or damaged in there, but it seems to be fixed now. Okay, so that gets us all the way up to here. Let's recreate that little box that kind of fit in between the two of these, because I'm not really, I wasn't all that pleased with what we had before. I still don't mind it being basically a polygon cube. There we go. Things kind of arranged here. And we'll start adjusting our vertices. Pull this in. Pull this in. Now let's see, if I just grab this face on top and we extrude it up and scale it in a little bit, that's probably still going to create too much rounding, so we will need to bevel the whole thing, which is okay. Let's switch over and just grab edges. Ooh, looks like I undid a little bit too far there. Make sure you don't do that. Grab all these edges and we'll bevel them, bleed back on the offset a little bit, take our segments and set them up to 2, which should keep everything all nice and quadded for us. We probably don't even really have to smooth it. We could probably just leave it just like that, and everything will work out just fine. Tug it out a little bit here and there. Now don't worry about how this kind of ends off in a razor sharp edge. We're going to be placing a rubber gasket over all of that. Let's kind of sift back through our massive stack of pictures for just a moment. Got some good reference shots here that we can work with. And I'm thinking that this bit of the wall that we made here is a little bit too thick in this area, so what I'm going to do is just kind of curve snap some of these vertices straight back a bit. Minimize my manipulator a little bit, get that out of my way. that'll get us started just fine. Now, we need to run this wall basically up the inside here. So we're going to do it using these faces for the time being. So notice just these two faces here on the front. We have a little bevel face here we can get rid of. Just make sure that's gone when they frame up. And it looks like we have an extra face hiding in here. Be aware of things like that. We'll delete it and merge some vertices to make it all go away. It looks like that didn't want to merge. Let's see if I can figure out why. There we go. Alright, I'm going to grab these two faces and let's extrude them. Bring my manipulator back up to something I can use, and let's go to world coordinates. I'll control-click out the Z-axis, and we can pull this up, hit G, go back to world coordinates, pull this up, hit G, and basically repeat the process, pulling forward occasionally, which, we'll need to tweak these all down through here, which is fine. Just remember that, kind of be aware of it. And here's what we're kind of building up to. You can see here. Let's find another picture of that. I know we've got some that kind of show it off. Lots and lots of pictures. So here we go. This is kind of what we're shooting for here. We're just kind of building this piece that climbs up like so. Okay. This up, maybe just one more. Now there's a piece here where this piece kind of comes forward and overlaps all of this, and we can create that by grabbing some faces here on this piece, and we could just extrude those forward. I believe it starts right about down here. We should be able to see it. Yeah, sort of a black overlap. So if we were to extrude these and pull them forward in Z world, take a look at our smooth, pull these over, and then you can grab the faces down here on the bottom of this piece that are going to be a little bit hard to make out because they're kind of sticking through everybody. Kind of adjust some vertices before we do this. And pull all of these forward. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to worry about this. Just totally changed my mind. Forget about it. I think that's going to work out just fine. If we want to, we could just create another edge that pulls out right there, but even so, I mean, all we're talking about is just the inside edge right there, which I think we've got going on really well. I would, however, like to grab some of these excess faces that were created as a part of the extrusion, and that would be all of these inside faces. And we'll delete those out. Now we need to thin this out as we go up here toward the top. It doesn't quite stay the same thickness all the way up. So let's grab vertices, and we've still control-clicked out the Z-axis. It looks like I left an extra face here we need to destroy. Let's take a look, see how the smooth is looking up here. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, very much not bad. Excellent. Alright. Now we need that wall to come out a little bit here as well. So what I'm going to do is grab all of these edges, like so. Let's extrude these. I'll pull them forward in Z world. And you'll notice we have 3 faces along this edge all the way down through here. So one of them is a bevel edge. So what I'll do is I'll just extrude these forward, like so. We'll grab this edge all the way up, and I'll bevel it so I can just merge those together when I get done here. And then let's just grab the split edge ring tool, and I'll put a split down like so. And start off with faces. Let's see, let's take that little face. We'll delete it out. We'll take this vertex, and we delete it as well. And we can grab some verts. And I love it when they snap way out in the distance like that. It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. We'll merge this together and merge these two together. And then merge these two together. And now we need to simply adjust the thickness of this wall, because you see the wall's kind of coming out looking nice here. Gets a little bit indented right here. So we'll smooth that out. Okay, and you see how it sweeps back and comes up, gets really thin, and then its thickness continues up above. So we'll go over to vertices here. And it looks like it sweeps back right as it gets up to this corner. So here's the corner, and we can just grab this vertex and pull it back. Actually, hang on, let's grab all of these verts at once. It might save us a little bit of time, even though we're still going to have to tweak it out. We'll pull all of these up, and let's grab this row of vertices next along with it. We'll slide all of these back a little bit. And there's the wall pretty much doing the same thing it is in the real world. We can grab it up here, and you can see that it starts to kind of sweep forward once it gets back up to the top. You can see that up there. So we can do that as well. And then we'll just kind of leave that there because we have to connect this back over to the roof. So the transitional pieces are coming in. They're slowly but surely being built. This is one of the trickier places for creating the interior. It really does. It's going to ease up once we get in here. And we'll talk about that once we get a little further into the interior. But for now, let's take just a moment and delete out history on both of the low-res objects that we've been modeling upon. And that is going to do it for this video. Thanks a lot.